Hi everybody, we're gonna build a banjo. It came today. Here it is from Carver Banjos. We'll unbox it tomorrow. So excited. So I did my unboxing of the Carver Minstrel Banjo and I wanted to show you what was in the box. So you've got the hoop or the pot and the dowel and the neck and all the little pieces and hardware, the pegs and the strings and the bridge and the nut, and the maker, Mr. Carver, gives you everything, the tacks for the head, the banjo head, and even some twist ties to hold the goatskin head down when it's drying. And I ordered an extra goatskin for the head of the drum. So it's here. I'm super excited and I'm getting ready to start sanding on it. Okay, so it's been a couple of days. I've been working on sanding all of the pieces of the banjo. And I've taken a very coarse, started with a very coarse sandpaper and worked my way up to a very fine sandpaper and just worked, I did it by hand rather than the palm, the machine, just because I kind of didn't feel like I knew what I was doing and I was afraid I was going to mess up. So it took me a little while. I worked on it about an hour a day for several days to get these pieces nice and smooth. But I'm really excited now. I hope they're smooth enough, and I'm going to go on to the next part, which I think is staining. Excited! Okay, so I've taken a couple of days to apply some finish. This is True Oil Gunstock finish. I think it's just linseed oil. And I took my time with it, and I applied 3 very light coats and gave it good 2 24-hour periods in between to dry for each coat. Can you see that really well? But it turned out really, really nice. This is beautiful wood and it feels so good. Again, I don't think it needed this much finish or even this much care because the wood is so beautiful. But I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So the next thing I'm going to do is tack the goat skin on the rim of the banjo, and that'll be the next phase. Just a couple of things that I'm going to do while I wait for the finish to get good and dry and before I work on the goat skin head is I went ahead and installed the nut. Mr. Carver supplies this, of course, but I just put a thin little strip of wood glue on it and popped it in there. In fact, you don't even have to use the wood glue. Another artist just left the bridge in case she wants to change the bridge out. Nut, I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong word. This is the nut. Also, I went ahead and strung up the tail piece. Mr. Carver gives you this really nice leather tail piece that I'll install toward the end, but I went ahead and put the strings on. He numbers the strings for you so you know where to put the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th string. And then that'll be really cool when I get that installed. So getting close to playing it. Okay, so I kind of jumped the gun on you a little bit. I had my phone off for a couple days, but I went ahead and finished the banjo. I'll just tell you what I'm doing or what I've done. So I installed the head on the rim with tacks, and that was a cool little process. Actually soaked the goat skin head in warm water, but I colored the warm water with some tea bags to give it this nice golden color. And then I installed the tacks, which was kind of messy and made me feel a little bit like a upholsterer because the tack had to go through the skin, which is actually leather. And then Mr. Carver had pre-drilled the tack holes, so that made it easier. But it was it was a little bit challenging, but I think it turned out really nice. And then I tied the skin down to dry nice and flat, and then trimmed off the edges. And then what else did I do? I went ahead and with some screws joined the neck to the dowel, and then the dowels down in the drum. Very nice. I'm really pleased with this. Now these are, they're called friction pegs, and they're not finished wood because the non-finished peg in the non-finished hole of the neck gives it friction for the strings. I'm new to this type of tuning. I'm used to geared tunings, so this I'll have to learn it. And I strung it up. I got the strings on it. I don't have it tuned up just yet. I'll give you a sound sample in a bit, and I popped the bridge in. Oh, here's the tailpiece. It's a leather tailpiece, so it's flexible. And again, he provided the little screws, and the holes were pre-drilled. So I can't tell you how happy I've been with this project. I think it'd be great if kids at all are interested in learning a stringed instrument. That way they could actually build the banjo and then be excited about learning to play. But having absolutely no woodworking experience, this was fun. I felt a little intimidated at times, but Mr. Carver, the manufacturer, he really does put together a kit and gives you everything you need. Lots of just instructive videos on YouTube, and there are a lot of other artists too that have made videos about how to put their banjos together. So as soon as I get this bad boy tuned up, I'll give you a sound sample, but I've sure had a good time. So I've got it up and strung, and it's tuned in open G, so standard tuning. I've got a little bit of buzz on one of the strings, but I'll keep working on that. But I wanted to let you all hear a sound sample. Whew, fell and bruised myself. It did take a couple of days for the strings to settle in. So I'm pretty pleased so far. I mostly got this because I wanted to play around with different tunings. So that'll be my next step. But again, I really love this project. CarverBanjos.com. He has several different models. He has a travel banjo, an Americana banjo, a mountain banjo. Just great kits. Couldn't recommend them highly enough. I've had a ball with this project. So I've got a new banjo. This is the minstrel model. All right, let's see what happens.